As noted on this program, Friday night seemed to mark a fascinating turning point for the supposed new McCain campaign, as the senator himself repeatedly broke ranks with his own supporters at a rally as they attacked Obama as a scary Arab, even taking the microphone away from one woman, telling her no, Obama was not Arab, he was decent. Decent as the opposite of Arab, of course, still a racist, however well-intentioned defense. In any case, if you missed that turning point this weekend, too late, it's over. McCain Classic is back. Today, his supporters proudly, and with no apparent rebuke from their fellows or McCain, brandished signs tying Obama to Osama bin Laden, as well as a Curious George doll, which we saw over the weekend, a monkey intended to represent Obama himself. The monkey is the doll, not the guy in the glasses. In fact, less than 48 hours after McCain's apparent change of heart, Time magazine reported inflammatory remarks, not from what McCain's own campaign has called random nuts at their rallies, but from the GOP chairman of a swing state. And when McCain was asked about it yesterday, just minutes after calling on Obama to repudiate things his supporters say, Senator McCain not only failed to repudiate it, he amplified it. Here is the exchange.
The chair of the Republican Party in Virginia has said, quote, in Time magazine, both Barack Obama and Osama bin Laden have friends that have bombed the Pentagon. That is scary. Is that appropriate for a state party chair to be saying?
I'd have to look at the context of his remarks. I have always repudiated any comments that have been made that were inappropriate about Senator Obama. But the fact is, William Ayers was a terrorist and a bomber and unrepentant. And I don't care about that. But Senator Obama ought to be candid and truthful about his relationship with Mr. Ayers, in whose living room he launched his political campaign. And Senator Obama said he was just a guy in the neighborhood. It was a lot more than that.
On that note, let's turn to Chris Hayes, Washington editor of The Nation magazine. Chris, good evening.
Hey, Keith.
What? I'm not going to ask you to try to pin you down on where the McCain campaign stands about slandering Obama and using supposed domestic terrorists or whatever, because there's no way to track it. It's 12 minutes past the hour. It could change again before quarter past. But what was the implication about Obama in that statement, and how could John McCain, after it, claim he is not just as down in the dirt as anybody else in his campaign?
Look, having it both ways has been the MO of the campaign from day one, right? I mean, the vision, the strategic vision from the beginning was a kind of good cop, bad cop routine. John McCain was going to be the upstanding, honor-bound maverick that everyone loved, who had this tremendous integrity, and all the muck was going to be outsourced. Well, that didn't work so well, and so you started getting a more kind of bad cop, worse cop routine with Sarah Palin saying truly vile stuff, and then there's some 527s floating around saying really, really vile stuff, and now the whole kind of strategic vision has collapsed, and it's just this kind of general cesspool that you can't really make much out of one way or the other, except to say that it's gross.
Why does McCain not have the stones to come out and just say explicitly what he believes the Ayers stuff says about Obama? Why is this dance around, even when he invokes Ayers' name himself, why that dance around the central point? Why not come out and do a Barry Goldwater, say what it is you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a question the Obama campaign has asked. I mean, I have no idea what's going through John McCain's mind. It seems to me, and this is, armchair psychoanalyzing, but it's moral vanity at a certain point, right? I mean, he wants to reap the benefits of this very dark, gothic, very backlash politics that he's been kind of stoking on the sly, but he doesn't want to pay the cost to his reputation as John McCain, the stand-up guy. He wants to have it both ways. So the way that he's trying to square that circle right now is to sort of wink and nudge and let people around him say these things and bring it up in this way and then say, well, I don't actually care about Bill Ayers. When in fact he is stoking it, and he doesn't have the guts, as you say, to bring it up in person because he doesn't want to pay that cost in reputation.
And the irony is, he's probably getting more criticism on this particular point from the far right than he would be from you or from me or from anybody in the middle or anybody on the left. What message does it send to his own supporters if McCain again comes out on that stage Wednesday, shakes the terrorist sympathizer's hand and engages in an hour-and-a-half civil discourse with him rather than trying to make a citizen's arrest? I mean, they pummeled him for doing that last week. I think that might have been the shark jump point.
I agree. The problem is this entire line of reasoning and attack that goes around, that intimates these very dark and erroneous and specious things about Senator Obama. it's really playing with fire, and it's not something that once you unleash you could control. I mean, we saw that in some ways in the back and forth with the crowds last week, in which you have a guy snapping at McCain, the candidate, let me finish, because they're so worked up, and we saw the backlash towards him from the right, that he wasn't tougher on Obama in the campaign. I think what it does for the sort of reasonable part of the electorate is that to the degree to which McCain won't say it to his face in the debate, it really says, look, there really is nothing here. Because if there were, and if the concerns were genuine, then he would step up and say it.
What does it say that woman he took the microphone out of her hands was interviewed afterwards and said she still believes that Obama was an Arab, as if, by the way, that term meant, he was a mortal threat to her?
Look, this is a really crazy moment in American history for a lot of reasons. We're likely going to elect the first black president, a guy named Barack Obama. We are undergoing tremendous financial strain. There is a certain portion of the electorate, of American citizens, who find the specter of Obama candidacy, whether for outright racism, whether for nativism, whether for all sorts of other reasons, profoundly terrifying and threatening to their identity as Americans. And we're seeing that come out.
Chris Hayes, the Washington editor of The Nation. Thanks as always, Chris.